Hello friends, today let us study about the evolution of management and in that mainly contributions of Henry Fayol. So let's again go back to the meaning of management. Management is the art of getting things done by a group of people with the effective utilization of available resources. There are various definitions given by various management gurus, but simply, management is a process consisting of the functions of planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling the operations of achieved objectives. Okay. Evolution of management concept. As we all know that evolution, that is the development from previous days to the newer days. The evolution of management thought is a process that started in the early days of man. It began since the period man saw the need to live in groups. Mighty men were able to organize the masses, share them into various groups. The sharing was done according to the masses' strength, mental capacities, and intelligence. So, the thought of this management started since more earlier days where people started living in groups. Whenever we live in groups, management surely comes into existence. So now we'll see Henry Fayol's Principles of Management. A body of principles of management has been developed by Henry Fayol, the father of modern management. Fayol wrote perceptibly on the basis of his practical experience as a manager. Although he did not develop an integrated theory of management, his principles are surprisingly in tune with the contemporary thinking in management theory. Fayol held that there is a single administrative science whose principles can be used in all management situations, no matter what kind of organization was being managed. This earned him the title of universality. He, however, emphasized that his principles were not immutable laws, but rules of thumb to be used as occasion demanded. So Henry Fayol, he himself worked as a manager. He has great experience as a manager and he has developed certain principles through his experiences. What are his rules? What are his principles? That we'll study here. So here on the screen you can see Mr. Henry Fayol and he has framed certain 14 principles of management. We'll study each one in detail. Before going to the 14 principles of management of Henry Fayol, uh, let us study about these things. See, 6 categories. Fayol held that activities of an enterprise can be grouped into 6 categories. First one is technical, that is production. Second one is commercial, that is buying, selling and exchange. Third one is finance, financial, search for and optimum use of capital. Next, security, protection of property and persons. Accounting, including statistics and managerial. So Fayol said that in every enterprise there are 6 categories. The activities have been divided into 6 categories and these are those. Okay. Out of these 6 activities, he gave more intention or attention on managerial activities. So Henry Fayol developed the following principles underlying management of all kinds of organizations. So every organizations require these principles. What are those? So these are the 14 principles of management. So I'll show you in more clearer form. So here are the 14 principles of management by Henry Fayol. First one, division of work. Second one, authority. Third one, discipline. Fourth, unity of command. Fifth, unity of direction. Sixth one, interests. Seventh, remuneration. Eighth, centralization. Ninth, scalar chain. 10th, order. 11th, equity. 12th, stability. 13th, initiative. And 14th, the last one, esprit de corps. Okay, so what are these things? We'll study one by one in detail. So the first one, authority and responsibility are related. Fayol held that authority flows from responsibility. Managers who exercise authority over others should assume responsibility for decisions as well as results. He regarded authority as a corollary to responsibility. Authority is official as well as personal. Official authority is derived from the manager's position in organizational hierarchy, and personal authority is compounded of intelligence, experience, moral worth, past services, etc. A corollary of the principle that no manager should be given authority unless he assumes responsibility. He takes his responsibility. Is that those who have responsibility should also have commensurate authority in order to enable them to initiate action on others and command resources required for the performance of their functions. This aspect of relationship between responsibility and authority is particularly relevant in India, where authority tends to be concentrated in higher echelons of management. So friends, what did you understand by this? Authority and responsibility should go hand in hand. The person who is given an authority, he should feel the responsibility of the post that is being given to him. So if he is given a responsibility, he should be given the authority. Okay. So why is that? Because if he is given an authority, then only he can take certain actions. He takes the responsibility of the work given to him. And then only we can go to or proceed towards the execution of the managerial function in a more better way. Okay. Second one, unity of command. This principle holds that one employee should have only one boss and receive instructions from him only. Okay. Fayol observed that if this principle is violated, authority will be undermined, discipline will be jeoparded, order will be disturbed, and stability will be threatened. Dual command is a permanent source of conflict. Therefore, in every organization, each subordinate should have one superior whose command he has to obey. Okay, this is very simple. In every organization, every single smaller organization, it should be headed by only one person. Everyone should follow the commands of only one person. There should not be two heads. A coin, we say it has only one head and one tail. One head is very important. Whatever he says should be followed by others. Okay. This principle, if it is violated, if there are two heads, then what happens? Mr. A is one head, Mr. B is another head. Then what happens? A says something and B says something. So what happens? There will be a conflict. The employees do not know whom to follow, either A or B. So this should be avoided. Every organization should have only one boss. Clear? So the third one, unity of direction. This means that all managerial and operational activities which relate to a distinct group with the same objective should be directed by one head and one plan. According to Fayol, there should be one head and one plan for a group of activities having the same objective. It, however, does not mean that all decisions should be made at the top. It only means that all related activities should be directed by one person. For example, all marketing activities like product strategy and policy, advertising and sales promotion, distribution channel policy, product pricing policy, marketing research, etc. should be under the control of one manager and directed by an integrated plan. This is essential for the unity of action, coordination of strength, and focus of effort. Violation of this principle will cause fragmentation of action and effort and wastage of resources. So unity in direction. So last we studied about one head. Here also it is one head and one direction, one head and one plan for a group of activities having the same objective. Now for example, here he has given, if there is a marketing department, there is a department which is main objective is, the main work of that particular department is marketing. There are so many activities that come under it, that is strategy framing of marketing of the products, sales, promotion, advertising, etc. So the decisions regarding all these things should be taken by that particular head only. Under his direction, all the complete department should work. So this is essential for what he says, that unity of action, coordination of strength, and focus effort. Okay. Fourth one, scalar chain of command. According to Fayol, scalar chain is a line of superiors ranging from ultimate authority to the lowest ranks. The line of authority is the route followed via every link in the chain by all communication which starts from and go to the ultimate authority. So what does this mean is, from top level management to the lower level management, at every levels we may have managers. So in our previous lesson, in the levels of management, we have learned that there is top level, middle level and lower level. Top level is the higher authority, then we have middle level managers, and below them we have supervisors, foremen, who are also the section managers. So scalar chain of command is, the command should flow from top to the bottom in a particular chain. There should not be any change over there. That is the scalar chain of command. Then only the flow will be correct, the action or the command will reach from correct place to the correct place. Okay. Yes, a division of work. This is the principle of specialization which, according to Fayol, applies to all kinds of work, managerial as well as technical. It helps the person to acquire an ability and accuracy with which he can do more and better work with the same effort. Therefore, the work of every person in the organization should be limited as far as possible to the performance of a single leading function. Yes, every work, if it is divided and done, it can be done in a more efficient way. Okay, so there is a department. Now, complete organization, there are various departments. So the main work of the organization is divided into different departments. Again, in each department, the work is again divided. But when the work is divided, everybody should work for the same objective. Okay, when it is divided, then the work can be done more efficiently and in a less time. Sixth one, discipline. Yes, the most important. Discipline is a sine qua non. That means it's the most essential condition for the proper functioning of an organization. Members of an organization are required to perform their functions and conduct themselves in relation to others according to rules, norms and customs. According to Fayol, discipline can best be maintained by having good superiors at all levels. Second one is agreement, made either with the individual employees or with the union, as the case may be, that are as clear and fair as possible. And third one, penalties judicially imposed. Yes, whether it is an organization, whether it is an institution, whether it is a home, whether it is a group of friends, Discipline is very, very important, the essential condition of every group. Okay, so everybody should follow the rules, the policies framed by the organization. Then only there will be a disciplinarity, and then only the work can be done more efficiently. The organization also can run very efficiently. Okay. So seventh one is subordination of individual interest to general interest. The interest of an organization is above the interest of the individual and the group. It can be achieved only when managers in high position in the organization set an example of honesty, integrity, fairness and justice. It will involve an attitude and a spirit of sacrificing their own personal interest. Whenever it becomes apparent that such personal interests are in conflict with organizational interest. It may, however, be emphasized that social and national interest should have precedence over organizational interest whenever the two run counter to each other. Okay, so what does this mean? Here it means that first preference should be the organization. The interest of organization is above the interest of individual and the group. First, during your work, when you are in the organization, the interest of organization is, or it should be your first preference. So here he says that it can be achieved only when managers in high position in the organization set an example of honesty, integrity, fairness and justice. These four should be set as an example by the managers. Okay. So however, the social and national interest should have precedence over the organizational interest. That is, your first preference should be your organization. Your dedication is very important towards the organization and the aims of organization. So eighth one is remuneration. Employees should be paid fairly and equitably. Differentials in remuneration should be based on job differentials in terms of qualities of the employee, application, responsibility, working conditions and job difficulties. It should also take into account the factors like cost of living, general economic conditions, demand for labor and economic state of the business. So remuneration, simply what do we call it as? Salary. You know that for every work there is certain returns which is called as a remuneration or a salary. But this salary should be fixed according to the cadres. So there are different job levels and it is fixed according to that. And it also depends upon the qualification, the experience, the job difficulties, the job responsibilities. There are so many criteria which are fixed for that. So, but when there are 2 or 3 persons working in the same post, they should be given equal remuneration. There should not be inequality in the remuneration. When there is an inequality, then the conflicts may arise. So ninth one is centralization. Fayol believed in centralization. He, however, did not contemplate concentration of all decision-making authority in the top management. He, however, held that centralization and decentralization is a question of proportion. In a small firm with a limited number of employees, the owner-manager can give direct orders directly to everyone. But in large organizations, however, where the worker is separated from the chief executive through a long scalar chain, the decision-making authority has to be distributed among various managers in various degrees. Here, one generally comes across a situation of decentralization with centralized control. The degree of centralization and decentralization also depends on the quality of managers. So the meaning of centralization is every decisions flow from top authority to the lower authority. So when we consider two different types of organization, a small business, small organization where the owner himself is a manager, he has few employees. In such case, putting an order, controlling and taking decision is very simple. The manager or the owner takes the decision and passes it on to his employees. But when the organization is big, then what happens? The scalar chain is too long from top management to the lower level management. In such cases, according to Fayol, the decision taking authority should be distributed to the various departmental heads. But though you are giving the decision making, still the control should be at the top management only. It should be under the control of top management, because if some marketing manager, if he takes his own decision and if he proceeds in a different way, then our intention or goal may not be reached. Everybody should be controlled by the top management. Yes, order, 10th one. Order in the conception of Fayol means a right person on the right job and everything in its proper place. This kind of order depends on precise knowledge of human requirements and resources of the concern and a constant balance between these requirements and resources. Yes, a right person in the right job. Everything in its proper place. Constant balance between a requirement and resources. So what does this mean is the correct requirement of the human resources should be planned. And what is that requirement? The same type of qualified, experienced managers should be hired. There should be a balance between the requirement and resources. Consider requirement is 10, and if you take 15 members, if you appoint 15 members, then it will create an imbalance. 11th one, equity. It means that subordinates should be treated with justice and kindliness. This is essential for eliciting their devotion and loyalty to the enterprise. It is therefore the duty of the chief executive to instill a sense of equity throughout all levels of scalar chain. So treat everyone equally. This is the general meaning. So here it says that the subordinates should be treated, all different levels of managers should be treated with justice and kindliness. This is very much important, and a sense of equity throughout all levels of scalar chain is necessary. Yeah, 12th one, stability of tenure of personnel. The managerial policies should provide a sense of reasonable job security. The hiring and firing of personnel should depend not on the whims of the superiors, but on the well-convinced personnel policies. He points out that it takes time for an employee to learn his job. If they quit or discharged within a short time, the learning times has been wasted. At the same time, those found unsuitable should be removed and those who are found to be competent should be promoted. However, a mediocre manager who stays is infinitely preferable to outstanding managers who come and go. So, stability in the tenure of personnel. Personnels are nothing but the managers, the employees. So here, according to Fayol, what he says that once you recruit a manager, give him training and allow him to learn. He should be taught, trained about his work, learn his job. And when you hire him, keep him for a certain time, allow him to work and show his efficiencies. If you just appoint and remove him, then what happens? Learning time will be wasted. But those who are found unsuitable, they can be removed. But those who are found to be competent should be promoted. Okay, so this is stability. Stability in the tenure of personnel. Every manager or personnel should be maintained in a particular period of time in a correct way. 13th one, initiative. Initiative focuses on the ability, attitude, and resourcefulness to act without a prompting from others. Managers must create an environment which encourages their subordinates to take initiative and responsibility. Since it provides a sense of great satisfaction to intelligent employees, managers should sacrifice their personal vanity in order to encourage their subordinates to show initiative. However, it should be limited, according to Fayol, by respect for authority and discipline. So what this initiative means? So usually the manager orders and the subordinates work. But here the subordinates may be intelligent, they are more talented, they have good ideas, new ideas. So they may take initiative and come up with new ideas and they want to work towards the objective of the organization. In such cases, the managers should encourage such intelligent subordinates to come up with new ideas or new initiatives. But however, there should be a control. It should not go beyond the authority and discipline of the organization. So the 14th one, Esprit de Corps. So the meaning of this is common spirit. And what we can say that if you are working in an organization, every employee's spirit should be common. They should work towards the objective of the organization with a common spirit. Cohesiveness and team spirit should be encouraged among employees. It is one of the chief characteristics of organized activity that a number of people work together in close cooperation for the achievement of common goals. An environment should be created in the organization which will induce people to contribute to each other's efforts in such a way that the combined efforts of all together promotes the achievement of the overall objectives of the enterprise. If everybody with the same spirit to work for the objective of the organization, then only we can go or move towards the achievement of our objectives and success of the organization. But there are two main enemies. What are those? Divide and rule, no divide and rule, abuse of written communications. This principle implies that union is strength. Okay, everybody should be same with the same motive and an extension of the principle of unity of command. Fayol here emphasizes the need for teamwork and the importance of communication in obtaining it. So here you have studied the 14 principles of Henry Fayol. So we have gone through in detail about the 14 principles of Henry Fayol. So I've just given an abstract of this, and these abstracts and the complete notes you can find it in my presentations also. The link of the same which I'll be giving it to you at the end of this slide. So each of these principles have been said over here in a more abstract way. Okay. So thank you for watching this. Hope you all understood about the 14 principles of Henry Fayol. If you want to know more in detail, you can refer to my presentation which is uploaded in the SlideShare. You can also follow there as Uma Reur. So you will get the particular presentation where you can study in detail or you can get them as a notes. Okay. So thank you. You can watch my next video for F.W. Taylor's Principles of Management. And if there are any comments, please do comment on my videos so that I can improve myself. And please do subscribe my channel so that whichever the uploaded videos, you can get it automatically. Thank you.